Hello, my name is Lara. I'm a PhD student of Federal University of Rio Grande do Sul, and I'm here to present my paper entitled Design of Experiments Applied on a 360 megawatts power plant in operation, Surrogate Modeling Approach. This work and this paper actually is part of a bigger project called Smart PECEM, and PECEM power plant is located in Ceará, Brazil, and accounts with 3 units of 360 megawatts. To start this conversation, I will just talk briefly about electricity generation because we need electricity, and this is a fact that is not going to change. But despite all the problems correlated to this kind of energy, as population and global warming, coal plays a vital role in electricity generation and accounts nowadays with 40% of electricity generation worldwide. So, what can we do to comply environmental goals with this kind of electricity generation? And the answer is investing on efficiency. So, the steam generator is the core of the power plant and the component with the highest potential of improvement. So, to have an efficient operation, we need to ally management, strategy, and knowledge of the available data to understand the plant and get the best results. So, to improve steam generator performance, we start thinking about the philosophy of operation. How does the operator intervention occurs? And because I worry about that, because the operator can impact the magnitude of the controllable losses. So if we have a process that is standardized and we can guide the operator during this operation, we can guide the operator through a standardized process looking for higher efficiency. That's the main idea of this work. So the system description, here we have a schematic layout of the steam generator mills of PECEM power plant, and our modeling approach, the proposed methodology, includes three main steps that started with design of experiments. So the planning and conduction of experiments at the PECEM power plant, real life experiments performed at the power plant to fit a second order model using response surface methodology that is going to work as a surrogate model to represent the steam generator behavior. So the results and discussion of this paper applied to the case study of the PECEM power plant. We applied this methodology in PECEM power plant starting with the design of experiments. So we have a lot of parameters to worry about at PECEM power plant. So we started with an exhaustive search considering all the possibilities of parameters that we could work with, because we need to know which is really important to the operator, and we could account with PECEM team advice. So one important thing here is the controllability of the parameters, because we need parameters that can be directly manipulated by manual command and presented independent behavior among each other, because we need parameters that the operator can actually manipulate. So this is really important in our methodology. Then we want to represent the steam generator process using design of experiments. So we include this set of input parameters, including primary airflow, pulverized coal outlet temperature, stoichiometry, excess of 2, and secondary and primary air crossover duct pressure. And we want to know the impact of each of these parameters in the steam generator efficiency. So we need to define the operational ranges and levels of these parameters to conduct the experiments at the power plant. So we analyze historical data, and again we account with PECEM team advice. So here we have the lower, medium, and upper level of each parameter, and it's important to notice that we don't have a huge range of variation. And because we don't have that, why? We don't have that because conduct a maneuver in a power plant in operation is a risk, so we need to assure safety and security to these operations, to these experiments, and that's why we don't have a huge range of variation. So we have a lot of possible experimental designs, and here just to have an idea about the difference of each experimental design. If we decided to develop a full factorial design, we need to conduct more than 2,000 experiments, and this is a lot of time and money invested to conduct these experiments. So we need to look for another options, and one of these options is a box banking design. Because important points here, we have a less number of experiments. We just need 62 experiments to have our design, and this kind of methodology, we don't need to perform experiments at the range limits or extremes of these parameters. So we'll never have all parameters in the lower level together or all parameters in the upper level together. This is not going to happen in a box banking design. So we have 62 experiments proposed to be conducted at the power plant, but we just have 11 real-life experiments. So to have our 62 experiments finished, we developed a simulation model using absolute professional software, as you can see in this figure, and the software solves nonlinear mass and energy balances, so we could finish our experiments. And we use the 11 experiments performed at Passing Power Plant. They were remade using the simulation model to compare the results and have our model assessment. We have a maximum relative deviation for each given case. Of the 11 cases, they reached 1.21. The model variation in the efficiency displayed a 1.55 variation for the actual case. While looking for the passing variation, the efficiency displayed a 0.55 variation for the simulation model. So this is our model assessment, and we could remade the experiments conducted at Passing Power Plant using this model, and that's why we could finish the 62, because we have good results considering these 11 ones. So next step, statistical analysis using ANOVA. So we will use the results of the experiments to fit a second order model using response surface methodology. We started with a complete model with all the parameters and interactions. So first of all, we analyze interactions and select just the interactions that are significant for our response, and then we select the parameters that really impact the steam generator efficiency. And finally, we have a final or refined model capable to represent the steam generator behavior. And to check model assumptions, we use a residual analysis. So the statistical analysis count with a hypothesis test, and this is a repetitive process actually. So we analyze each interaction, and then we go to the second way interactions, the square terms, and finally the linear terms are the individually parameters. So the fitted model, the response of our analysis is an algebraic expressions containing only the terms that are statistically significant to the steam generator efficiency. And here we can see the individual terms, the linear terms of the parameters, then the square terms, and finally the interactions. And why we just have two terms of interactions in here? Because the other ones were not statistically significant, and that's why they are not in the model anymore. So we use this equation. We analyze the terms, and we could rank the factors by order of importance, considering the impact of each of these parameters in the steam generator efficiency. And the parameter with the highest impact is the pulverized coal outlet temperature, followed by excess O2, and then stoichiometry, primary airflow, secondary and primary air crossover duct pressure. So here we have the main effect plots. We can analyze using this graph the single effect of each parameter in the steam generator efficiency, and the parameter with the greater range of variation is parameter 2. And that's the parameter, the first parameter in our rank. This is the parameter with the highest impact in the steam generator efficiency, and that's what we can see using these graphs. So this is really important. And then we go to the counterplots to define the ranges of variation of each parameter to assure the highest values of efficiency. And these graphs are assembled by pairs of factors. Here we have the pulverized cold outlet temperature, that is the parameter of the highest impact on efficiency. And here we have excess of 2, the second parameter of the highest impact. And what do you want? We want to work in this range, this yellow range. That's what we want to do, because this is the range of the highest values for efficiency. So here we have a set of operation maneuvers that are possible operating conditions to guarantee steam generator efficiencies above 84%. And just as an example for us to explore, here we can see that steam generator efficiencies above 84% are only possible for parameter 2 above 75 degrees and parameter 5 below 2%. So if we are not respecting these values, we'll never have efficiencies above 84%. So this is really important. And here we have a set of operation maneuvers that can guarantee these efficiencies that we are looking for. So the conclusions of this work. We started with a design of experiments in a real power plant in operation. So we started performing experiments in a real power plant in operation, pacing power plant. So we couldn't, unfortunately, finalize all the experiments needed in the power plant, and then we used a simulation model to finish these experiments. And these experiments were used to build a surrogate model using response surface methodology. And then we were able to select, rank, and define the best operating ranges to finally provide an operation guide to the operator. But this operation guide, what is it? What do we want to answer with an operation guide? We want to answer these kind of questions. Here, first of all, the operator wants to know what parameters to look at. He has a lot of parameters during the operation. So the operator needs to look at the parameters with the highest impact on efficiency. And second question, how to start a maneuver? If I need to change the operation condition of the steam generator, how do I start, considering that I am the operator of the power plant? So they will follow the rank by order of importance, considering the parameters with the highest impact on the steam generator efficiency, and which condition achieve when I will change the operation condition of the steam generator. We want to achieve an optimum operational condition, but what if it's not possible to achieve that optimum because of some restriction of the system? Okay, then we need to pursue the best possible operational range according to our set of maneuvers. And which ranges are acceptable? Those that assure conditions above 84% of efficiency. And this is a continual cycle during the operation. So, thank you for our attention.